comply with.
Speaking of veterans, as you know, there's a great many Virginians and a great many Americans who are dependent on government for assistance, including my 84-year-old dad, who's a patient out at the VA in Salem. You know there are hardworking, good Americans that are dependent upon government for some level of services.
They earned
that. They earned. But what I wanted to get at further, did you cringe a little when you saw the Mitt Romney videotape on Mother Jones a couple of weeks ago, where he seemed to disparage the 47% as essentially a bunch of moochers?
I have my own way of looking at things, and you know that. I also have my own views, and I think well of all people. I think most people do want to lead independent, self-reliant lives. I remember with our welfare reforms that we passed when I was governor, we had the Democrats agreed finally with it. It wasn't easy, but we got it passed. And there was this was in Northern Virginia. We had a competition going between Domino's Pizza and Pizza Hut on who could hire the most welfare recipients. And we were at a Domino's Pizza facility, and one of the reporters said to the woman, the mother who was working, they said, well, what kind of job is this, making pizzas? And so the owner of the franchise said, well, how do you think I started? I started delivering pizzas. Now I own several of these franchises. And then the mother came forward with her blue Domino's outfit, and she says, well, I actually think it's good for my daughter to see her mother getting dressed up and working every day and having the dignity of a job. And so I think the best of people, and in my view, is the folks who, and you've heard me say this, Mike, I think the folks who should be voting for our campaign because of our ideas are anybody who uses electricity, anybody who pays taxes, anybody who thinks health care decisions ought to be made by doctors and patients, anybody who drives a car should be on our side unless they want to pay higher fuel prices. Anybody who wants a job or has a job should be on our side because our ideas have created more jobs. And Tim Kaine and I could match our records. Over 100,000 jobs were lost while we raised taxes on people earning as little as $17,000 a year. I think we ought to have people have more freedom and more opportunity. So my view is that anybody who cares about the future of their children or their grandchildren should be on our side. And I want to make sure that all Americans have that opportunity to achieve the American dream.
But the tape was a little cringeworthy, wasn't it?
I told you, I look at things my own way.
Let me ask you about Paul Ryan's plan for Medicare. Do you support that?
I think Medicare, his latest plan is the Wyden-Ryan plan. I think Medicare needs to be preserved. Same with Social Security. For future generations. And people have paid into Medicare as well as Social Security, taxes, and they ought to get those benefits. And for anybody who's, say, 50 and over, currently on Medicare or Social Security, those need to be protected, and there shouldn't be any changes. For those who are, say, under 50, I think that you can look at ideas such as a gradual increase in the age of eligibility. People are leading longer, healthier lives, and so that's the solution. I also think there can be an income adjustment. Somebody who's making $1 million a year doesn't need those benefits. They don't want them. And so I think there can be an income adjustment made in Medicare benefits to make sure it's solvent and there for the future. That's the sort of approach I would take.
Less than a minute. Romney's been here a lot in Virginia. Obama's been here a lot in Virginia. 4 years ago, Obama, first Democrat to carry Virginia in 44 years. What's your sense as you go around Virginia, and what kind of impact does that have down ticket on a guy like you?
Well, it's hard to say. Susan and I are getting our positive, constructive message out, trying to motivate folks to be on our side and letting them know not just what we're against, but most importantly, what are these positive, constructive approaches that are proven that will improve people's lives. Obviously, all the campaigns are going to be here in Virginia. Virginia is where America started at Jamestown. The future of America is going to be decided by voters in this election. And I look at this election as important as the 1980 election when Ronald Reagan beat President Carter. And really, this is our generation's rendezvous with destiny. And I'm confident that a majority of Virginians will stand strong for freedom, and Americans will be grateful in saying, look, America can ascend once again thanks to those Virginians.
Well, and thanks to former Governor and former Senator George Allen for spending so much time with us today. Thank you, sir, and good luck.
The pleasure's all mine. Thank you.